My dad said that he would get his life together. He didn't get it together. When I was in the car with my mom leaving for San Diego, I seen my dad on the side of the road and I passed him. And I cried all the way, miles and miles after I passed him on the road. And it was just heartbreaking to know that I may never see him again. So my daughter was 2 years old and I did come back to Grants Pass to visit him. I found him. He met her for the first time. After that, my mom actually came to my house and knocked on the door and said, "Your father's passed away." He had sobered up for a small bit and he got himself an apartment, and he let another homeless friend come over and they were cooking dinner together and they all started drinking, and they ended up getting in a fist fight for I don't know what reason, and he ended up beating him to death. His life was taken very young. He was 43 when that happened. It was real hard for me because Grants Pass is a small town, and the front page of the paper was my father coming out of his house in a body bag. I wanted to give my dad a proper burial and funeral, but I was super young. I was a young mother. I didn't have any money. We put donations around town, like in the bars and stuff, and collected as much money as we could. It's just amazing how the Lord came through in those times for me. The funeral home let me make payments to them, so I was able to bury him with dignity, like a real coffin. It was packed out because my dad, he knew people from like rich ranchers all the way to all of his friends on the street, so he was very well known. They liked him and they knew him because he was a good person. I wanted to bury him in the nicest graveyard in our town, and I knew that I really couldn't do that. I didn't have the money to do that. But I just wanted to go there and check it out, to see what I couldn't have. And I was walking around with the director, and he said, "Who is your dad, by the way?" And I said, "His name is Les Toothman." And he said, "Oh my gosh, we were college roommates together." And he said, "I will give you everything here, half off." The man who actually did the crime went to prison for 3 years, and he was let out on good behavior. So I would see him around town all the time. And I would cry, I would shake. I just had a lot of pain and anger that it wasn't fair. I didn't feel it was fair. Fast forward 10 years, I had volunteered at the mission, and we were assigned tables, and that man was my table. I was to serve him his meal that day, and I just said, "Lord, I can't do this." And he said, "Yes, you can. I want you to go up and tell him that you forgive him." And I was like, wow, okay. So I went up to him and I said, "I just want you to know that I forgive you, but most of all, God forgives you." Immediately at that moment, those chains that held all that pain and that connection and all that sorrow I felt every time I seen him, it was broken. And it was like just this weight was lifted off of me, and I was able to serve that man Thanksgiving dinner happily, and still to this day, that's my most favorite Thanksgiving. A few months later, the director from the mission called me and he said, "You don't know what you did for that man. He got out of the mission, he has his own place, he's enrolled in college, and he has a job and he's supporting himself." So as odd as it sounds or seems, that actually brings me joy. I feel like because of my story and what I experienced, it definitely has given me a heart for the homeless. We may look at them and think, oh, they can get a job, or they've chosen this, or that's their own fault. It's not. It's not. Something has happened in their life that has caused this breakdown. For my father, it was the abuse. He couldn't heal that pain, and he became infected. There needs to be a light shed on what really is going on in people, instead of just being so quick to judge. Because everybody has a story. Everybody has a reason to the why. There's somebody's son, somebody's father, somebody's brother, uncle, There's somebody. And I know what it's like being a family member wondering, are they alive today? Are they going to be alive tomorrow? Where are they? Are they cold? Are they hungry? Is anybody reaching out to them, loving on them? I just think we need to do more. We need to be better. We need to be God's hands and feet, because these people are the heart of God.